Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Mixology Theology, a time during the week where we mix it up a little bit. We look at some different things. And today we are on the verge of Holy Week. And my thought this morning was about Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. It's a beautiful space, beautiful area, and I'm so grateful that I've had the chance to walk in that garden twice. And there are trees in the garden that were probably there when Jesus was in the garden, which tells you a little bit about the kind of trees, the resiliency of those trees, and the olive wood that we get. Maybe you bought a piece of olive wood from Jimmy when he was here. He gifted us with that beautiful Jesus menorah that's on the altar in the downstairs worship area. But this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about prayer. You've all seen images of Muslim prayer, the call to prayer. You've heard the music of the call to prayer. And you've seen men mostly in the Muslim religion kneel on their prayer rugs to pray. But there's a much longer tradition of Christian prayer that we sometimes don't know about, don't talk about. And I wanted to talk about it just briefly today, especially as we move into Holy Week and considering your prayer life. So the traditional prayers for Christians were lauds, L-A-U-D-S, lauds, for morning prayer. That's the prayer you do at dawn, at the beginning of the day, as you start your day. There's the daytime prayer, which is sometimes called, well, there's three, terce, sext, and non. Terce, sext, and non. T-E-R-C-E, sext, S-E-X-T, and non, N-O-N-E. Shorter prayers that are at 9 a.m., noon, and 3 p.m. And I'll put this in the notes. Then there's Vespers, evening prayer, which is traditionally sunset. And then there's Compline, which is a nighttime prayer, the final prayer before bed, focusing on an examination of our conscience and peace. Now, you can actually, Compline is one of those things. There's a liturgy, a music liturgy of Compline, and you can actually go on YouTube. And I think there's a channel called Chants and Rants. And there's a gentleman with an absolutely angelic voice who sings the liturgy of Compline, which is very peaceful, very beautiful. It's not for everybody, but it's really, if you appreciate just getting yourself into a place of silence, of quiet, of putting the day to rest. I just think it's a beautiful thing. So most of you have one of these, and I'm going to suggest to you, as we move into Holy Week, that you set some reminders. You may not want to set every single one of those times as a reminder, but set some reminders when you pause and pray. When you think about, I've always thought of the week as a reminder of Jesus' life. And I've talked about this before, that Monday is kind of the birth of Jesus, the beginning of Jesus' ministry. Tuesday, sometimes I think of him at age 12 at the temple teaching the elders. Wednesday is always sort of like the midst of Jesus' ministry, his healing, his teaching, his miracles. Thursday, of course, I always set aside and think about the Last Supper, the washing of the feet, of mission, because Jesus was all about, sending his disciples in mission. Friday, of course, I think of Jesus' suffering and death on the cross. Saturday is this day of rest and contemplation. And then Sunday, the day of resurrection. So if you think and divide up your week a little bit in terms of your prayer life too, it's another way of kind of approaching all of this. But this week, take your phones, set some reminders during the day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and just pause for brief prayer. Break up your day with some prayer. I appreciate you joining me on Fridays for Mixology Theology, some random thoughts, random ideas. Looking forward to Palm Sunday this week and Holy Week, and how we make it holy for us individually, how Jesus comes into our life through prayer, and then living that out. So for those of you on Facebook, thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the hearts. Most of all, thanks for hitting the share button. If you join me on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Press the little bell and get reminders of when we're on YouTube. And tell others about 3 Shots. It's just 3 little ways to keep us on pace with our faith during the week. It's a very weighty and important week ahead for us as Christians. Let's not blow it. Let's take it seriously and thankfully. So grateful for Jesus. Let that joy, as well as the suffering, come into your life to remind you of what Jesus has done for us and what we, in turn, do for each other and for the world around us. Now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May his arms enfold you with his love. May his hands uplift you with his strength. And may his cross lead you in his peace. Amen. See you Sunday. Hey, by the way, don't forget, in your comments, really love feedback. Really love to hear what you think. I love the good mornings and all of that, but love feedback. So if you get a chance, tell me what you think. All right. God's peace until we meet again.